right side, wide open and near the end zone. Caught! Time. Throw to the right corner of the end zone. Man there, caught! 5 touchdown. Benjamin Watson, another one.
Tom Brady lifts off. Myth the legend Tom Brady, the man who has 7 Super Bowl rings, the most touchdown passes in the NFL history, who's dominated the NFL for over 20 years. But is there more to the man than on the field? Well, it's about to be a wild ride. Strap in, baby, and let's go.
Why do I have 3 Super Bowl rings and still think there's something greater out there for me? I mean, maybe a lot of people would say, hey man, this is what it is. I reached my goal, my dream, my life is... Me, I think, God, it's gotta be more than this. I mean, this can't be what it's all cracked up to be. I mean, I've done it. I'm 27, and what else is there for me?
What's the answer?
I wish I knew. I mean, I think that's part of me trying to go out and experience other things, but I know I love playing football and I love being the quarterback for this team, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of other parts about me that I'm trying to find, and different ways of expression, being around. I know what ultimately makes me happy are family and friends, and positive relationships with great people, and I think I get more out of that than anything.
Tom Brady was born in San Mateo, California, August 3rd, 1977. He was the only son and 4th child of Galen Patricia and Thomas Brady Sr. His mother was Swedish. His father was Irish. In the 80s, Brady regularly attended San Francisco 49ers games at Candlestick Park. He was a fan of the quarterback, Joey Montana. He called Montana his idol and one of his inspirations. At age 4, he attended the 1981 NFC Championship against the Dallas Cowboys, in which Montana threw a catch to Dwight Clark. As a child, Brady attended football camp at the College of San Mateo, where he was taught to throw football by the counselor and future quarterback Tony Graziani. Despite the rivalry between the two teams, he grew up as a Los Angeles Lakers and Boston Celtics fan. He attended Junipero Sierra High School in San Mateo. He graduated in 1995. He played football, basketball, and baseball, an All-American athlete. He played against Bellarmine College preparatory rival Pat Burrell in both football and baseball. He began his football career as a backup quarterback on the Padres junior varsity team. At first, he wasn't good enough to start on the 08 junior varsity team. They hadn't scored a touchdown all year. He ascended to the starting position when the starting quarterback was injured. He became the first varsity starter in his junior year and held the position until he graduated. His senior year, something incredible happened. He was noticed by the coaches and the highlight tape of his best touchdowns in the game, or quarterback throws. Now, during the summer of 1998 and 1999, he was an intern at Merrill Lynch. He was inducted into the Juniper Sierra High School of Fame in 2003. 2 weeks later, the Super Bowl, they announced that they named the football stadium Brady Family Stadium, which was incredible for the young star.
But you know, there's Tom Brady. I mean, everybody wants to be around Tom.
Can you go out to restaurants?
If I have the energy to deal with, putting a happy face on, sometimes I don't feel like that.
Now, you seem a bit the reluctant star.
Well, the problem is you can't have one without the other. You can't have the football fame and not the other stuff. So, in a lot of ways, I've created this myself.
Just what you always wanted.
You're right. It has. And I didn't think it came with all the other baggage, though.
The most eligible bachelor in America.
Well, it's very flattering. But at the same time, I don't think I sleep any better at night being that. No way.
You mean like alone or not alone? What did you mean by that?
Yeah, that's right.
You were startled by a jack in the box.
His All-American image took a hit last year when actress Bridget Moynihan, his longtime girlfriend, announced that she was pregnant with Brady's son shortly after the couple broke up. He is now supporting the child and is dating supermodel Gisele Bündchen. In addition to his success on the field and his sex appeal off it, there is also the $60 million 10-year contract to play with the Patriots. It's less money than Peyton Manning and even some journeyman quarterbacks are making, but Brady wanted to leave some money on the table for the Patriots to hire free agents to help them win another Super Bowl.
I used to get $600 dorm checks and go eat Subway and use pizza cards to get my way through college, eat baked potatoes and make pancakes every night. So I don't think that's ever been a big thing for me. I mean, I'm making more money now than I ever thought I could ever make playing football.
He's turned down multi-million-dollar endorsement deals because he didn't think they were right for him. And many of the ones he's taken, he's shared with his teammates.
You guys have to go everywhere with me?
But with all that money, fame, and career accomplishments, we were surprised to hear this from him.
Why do I have 3 Super Bowl rings and still think there's something greater out there for me? I mean, maybe a lot of people would say, hey man, this is what it is. I reached my goal, my dream, my life is... Me, I think, God, it's got to be more than this.
What's the answer?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I love playing football and I love being the quarterback for this team. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of other parts about me that I'm trying to find.
Tom Brady, NFL, 2001. With Bledsoe as a starting quarterback, the Patriots opened 2001 season with a 33-17 road loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. By your 5th game, Brady began to find his stride, trailing and visiting San Diego Chargers 26-16 in the 4th quarter. Due to Tom Brady's work ethic, they made it to the playoffs. The first playoff game, he threw for 312 yards against the Oakland Raiders and led the Patriots back from a 10-point 4th quarter deficit to send the game into overtime, where they won on an Adam Vinatieri field goal, 16-13. A controversial play occurred in the 4th quarter of the game. Trailing by 3 points, Brady lost control of the ball after being hit by the Raiders cornerback and former Michigan teammate Charles Woodson. They eventually won the game, but it was a very controversial game for Brady. Now finally in that season, 2001, he was named the Super Bowl MVP while throwing for 145 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions at the age of 24 years old. Brady became the youngest quarterback to win the Super Bowl, surpassing Joe Namath and Joe Montana, his idol, and he was traded to the Buffalo Bills in April, which cemented his status as the Patriots starting quarterback in 2002. Now, 9 years later, 2010. September 10th, 2010, Brady signed a 4-year, $72 million contract extension, making him the highest paid player in the NFL. The extension included $8.5 million in guaranteed money. He became the fastest quarterback to achieve 100 regular season wins by helping his team defeat the Dolphins 41-14 on October 4th. On November 25th, in the Thanksgiving Day game against the Lions, he earned the perfect passer rating for the second time actually in his career as the Patriots 1.5.
Carson show at 2 or 3 years old, and his swing looks as good as it did at 3 years old as it did as he grew older. Or certain players that had this unbelievable prodigy aspect to themselves. I saw myself as someone who probably had some other traits that maybe were hard to identify, but that were really sustainable over time, which was, I would say, work ethic and discipline. And that was instilled in me by, I think, my parents. I mean, there was part of it that they gave me, but also just behaviorally growing up in an environment where my dad was out to work every morning, trying to go make a living for our family. And my mom woke up every day trying to figure out how to make sure the home was comfortable for us and, to support the kids. So there was this discipline that I had that even as 13, 14, 15 years old, where all these other boys I went to an all-boy school in the Bay Area, and I remember showing up my first day as freshman year. I didn't have much, hair under my arms or anything like that. I was like, and these other kids came in shaving, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't know how to put the pads on in my pants when I tried out for freshman football. I mean, I had never played until that point except in the street. So these kids came out there, they had helmets and shoulder pads that they had worn for 4 years through Pop Warner. And I went on the field and I was like, I'm going to get killed out here. And my freshman year, I didn't even play. I was the backup quarterback on a team that went 0-8. That says a lot. I couldn't get on the field and we never won a game anyway. I mean, it's one thing to be the starting quarterback and to lose. If they don't even think you're good enough to be a starting quarterback on a team that's 0-8, you must really suck. And the reason why I played my second year was because that quarterback quit because he's like, I'm not playing football anymore. We suck. I'm going to focus on basketball. So naturally, I was like, oh, cool. I'll continue to, work on my skill because I actually had a halfway decent arm. But a lot of it was even going into my second year in high school, there were workouts in the morning at 6 a.m. before school. And I was like, okay, I can get up at 6 a.m. and I can go do these rope drills where you'd run through the ropes. You see a lot of people do that. There were these hills that we would run up. And there was probably less than 10 people there, but I was probably one of the 3 that were there almost every single day to try to continue to push myself to grow in these maybe physical areas that I was really behind a lot of the other people at. Because naturally, no one's good at everything. I mean, that's just not the way life works. We're all talented at certain things, but we can really continue to improve our weaknesses if we're humble enough to identify them, and we can build on our strengths. And I think we're all trying to find a more well-rounded aspect to ourselves, but a lot of that has to come with this understanding about yourself that what you know is very limited.
Now, we would always be supportive of it because somebody else might take his dream away, but his parents and his sisters will never take it away.
While Brady's football hopes appeared unrealistic, he leaned on the close relationship with his father during high school and later college.
When he ultimately decided to go to Michigan, frankly, Andrea, it broke my heart. It killed me. I wanted him to go to Cal Berkeley, 35 miles away. I went to a psychologist for 2 months to get over the fact that I had separation from...
Are you serious?
Yes. I had separation from my son, who's one of my best friends in the whole world.
At virtually every post-game interview that Tommy does, at the end he says... Tom, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
What does that mean to you guys?
It's pretty special. Especially to her. They have a wonderful bond.
That bond with his parents is closer than ever, especially now that Brady himself is a father. But like any parents, they think about the future. What do you worry about with your son?
When the day is over, he will be able to find a passion to replace this passion.
We are not finished. We are not finished.
When you have somebody who loves it as much as he does, that is a concern for his mom and I.
Do you discuss that with your son?
No, because we don't see that as being an imminent situation.
Is there a part of you that says, look, I understand it's a business and it's inevitable one day I may get cut here?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. This is the NFL. You know, it's happened to everybody, so why would I not think that would happen to me?
Is this Tommy crying wolf, or do you think that this is truly something that he believes?
There are no sacred cows in the NFL. If Bill Belichick doesn't want him anymore, then Bill Belichick will get rid of him.
But for now, Brady's focus is on the present.
This week is what it all comes down to for all of us.
And playing in Phoenix on February 1st.
He doesn't have a doubt that they're going to get to the Super Bowl. He doesn't have a doubt that they're going to win the Super Bowl. Now, whether or not that happens, that remains to be seen. He's got a never-ending will to succeed and a will to work and to do what's necessary to get where he wants to be.
During the halftime ceremony on September 10, 2023, the Patriots' Week 1 game that season announced it would waive the traditional 4-year post-retirement waiting period required by candidacy by the Hall of Fame, as well as directly inducting him without the customary ballot, which means basically they put him in the Hall of Fame because he's the GOAT. Like, who do you want to beat? Tom Brady? It's impossible. So they obviously put him there because, I mean, he's the greatest of all time. So why not? June 12, 2024, prior to his induction into the Hall of Fame, Tom Brady Day in Massachusetts, in the presence of his family, former teammates, coaches, and his friends, they celebrated his day with franchise, the dedicated 3-hour event. After multiple speaker panels and video tributes, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame as the 35th member of the Hall of Fame. Announced that the franchise would formally retire his number 12 because no one else can match that level of greatness, and a statue would be constructed in his honor. And that was his professional career. Will he ever come back to the NFL? Probably yes, because he lives for this shit. But will he ever be forgotten as a Hall of Famer or as the greatest of all time? Will anybody ever match his glory? Realistically, no. No one will ever match that level of glory or heights he has achieved, winning 7 Super Bowls, unless it's some kind of magic trick. But no one ever can match that level of greatness. It's like trying to be Michael Jordan. You can't really be Michael Jordan. It's not possible by any means. But Tom Brady has certified himself as the greatest NFL superstar of all.
Okay. Amendola.
Yeah.
Edelman.
Yeah.
Gronkowski.
Yeah. What do you want me to do?
Color commentate.
Why are you laughing so hard? Color commentate, just... All right, well, the Patriots got a great lineup out there. When you got those 3 guys like Gronk and Edelman and Amendola.
They're white guys, Tom. They're white guys.
I don't even see that. I just saw a bunch of ballers.
In the Super Bowl this year, if you had to play against the Eagles, how many interceptions do you think you would mistakenly throw Cooper to Gene, thinking he was one of your receivers?
Hopefully 0.
Do you mind if we do a new segment presented by GoPuff? They come fast?
Sure.
That's their tagline. They asked us to say that.
They got a good marketing
They
department.
come fast.
They do. I've seen it.
How the segment goes is, basically, I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to do the color commentary on how you would announce this scenario.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm going to give it my best shot.
Okay. Keep in mind it's a Super Bowl.
Okay.
It's the 4th quarter.
Okay.
There's 9 seconds left.
Yeah.
It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah.
They're on the opposite 49-yard line.
Okay.
And the quarterback has to throw a Hail Mary and it's incomplete and they lose the Super Bowl.
Well, he doesn't have to throw a Hail Mary at that point. He could try to gain something a little bit shorter with 9 seconds left and 2nd down.
But he did.
He threw a Hail Mary. Well, hopefully he can buy time to move out of the pocket and get a crow hopping.
He didn't.
Oh, he didn't.
You think he should have?
I thought that with 9 seconds left, I would try to get something short out of bounds to make the Hail Mary throw less far.
Why are you lying to us?
I'm not lying. I'm telling you what a smart quarterback would do. And a smart play caller, you try to advance the ball a little further down the field.
Patriots versus the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's 4th quarter.
Yeah.
9 seconds left. 2nd and 10.
Oh, well, I didn't realize I was throwing it. Well, in that case, I could reach the end zone, so.
Ball's on the opposite 49-yard line.
I don't remember the specifics of that. Those I try to erase from my memory.
That was you.
I know. Well, now that you bring it up.
Tom, that was you.
Well, now I understand it was me. See, these are things, when I played so many games, they kind of, unless I win, they don't really stick. They just, That was a mistake.
So you agree that you lost that Super Bowl for your team by not checking it down? Is that what you're saying?
I could have given our Bestells a better chance to advance the ball a little bit further so the Hail Mary could have been, you know, a little shorter throw.
2-yard line.
Yeah, I took a good hit on that play.
Anyways, the Raiders. You are an owner now, which is pretty cool, and congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it's pretty, I agree. Thank you.
What message would you give to the die-hard, lifelong Raiders fans? Do you have any good restaurant recommendations in Oakland?
I have not been to dinner much in Oakland. It's been a long time, by the way, been in Oakland. They're in Vegas now.
But the fans,
yeah,
they're in Oakland.
They're in Oakland, they're in Los Angeles, they're everywhere.
And Vegas. You've been an owner in Las Vegas before.
The Las Vegas Aces and the WNBA back-to-back champions.
Which team would you say has more players that play like girls?
The Aces, obviously.
Follow up, which team would you say has more players that play like guys?
The Raiders, of course.
Just asking. Let's do a change of course, change of subject.
Okay.
Let's talk Bitcoin. And obviously, everyone knows the past, so we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the past. But my question for you is, do you still believe in Bitcoin?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Clooney, have you ever had any Bitcoin?
Yeah, we had one together.
Did you share one?
What happened to it?
Did you lose it?
Yeah, I lost it.
How'd you lose it?
It was in a company that I think went bankrupt.
Yeah, it's a sad story.
Yeah.
You lost all your Bitcoin off a company that went bankrupt?
Yeah.
It's sad.
I know.
Yeah.
I had to pay taxes on it.
Let's move on.
You did pay taxes?
I had to pay taxes on the Bitcoin we lost.
Let's move on.
What are you gonna do?
What sucks?
It wasn't too much.
Let's move on.
All right, let's move. Sorry.
I didn't know that. My bad. And my bad.
I'm still looking for my wallet. I got a lot in there.
Something happened to it?
Can't find it.
You're always talking about pliability.
Yes.
Was that for the FTX? Did you end up having it?
Did I have what?
Plausible deniability.
Pliability.
Is it not abbreviation?
No, it's totally different.
Oh.
Yeah, one refers to body work and keep your muscles really long and elastic so they can withstand the forces, and the other one is plausible deniability is...
And Hernandez.
Yeah, that was...
We'll cut that one.
Okay.
Longevity.
Yeah.
You take all the fun stuff out of life so that you can live it forever.
Like, what's fun? What would you be referring to? That
longevity?
Yeah, like, what's the fun stuff that longevity wouldn't allow?
Chica Cheetah.
What is that?
It's alcohol. It's my favorite one.
Is it? What's it taste like?
Peanut butter.
Really? And it's you put it with anything or just on the rocks?
I do on the rocks, but people do it with whatever they want.
Chica Cheetah? I gotta check this out.
Its logo is, it's not penis, brother, it's peanut butter.
Wow.
Do any of your former friends or your current friends use the TB12 method?
Gronk was a big advocate. Julian was, Wes Welker was, a lot of my teammates. Moss was.
Did Bill Belichick follow TB12?
Nah. No, he's a big, like, carb guy.
What about his girlfriend? She looks as young and healthy as ever.
Sounds like it. I don't know, I don't follow it, too much.
If Bill Belichick's girlfriend needed it, would you rent
What do you feel different about this year than you do the rest of your career, perhaps? Just personally, just about where you are in life.
Well, I'm obviously older. My kids are not as young as they were, when you're, taking care of little babies all the time. And, my kids are older. They've been able to enjoy it. Everything, obviously I got great support at home. My wife is, an incredible woman to support me in my dreams. I had a lot of time with my kids this off season, so I really feel like I filled up the tank with them. And I think that was really important for me over the course of the season. It's a long season for all of us. And, from where I was when I was 22 or 23 when I was starting to now, a lot of things have changed, in my life. And you have different responsibilities and priorities. And, to focus on them when they needed their time, and then to really be, focused on what this team needs, has been a really great balance for me. And I feel like my tank was really full, and I feel like I've emptied the tank a lot. This is a year that, we all put a lot in. That's what football players do. And you're rewarded when you get a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And I feel like, I've been really rewarded and blessed this year, and playing on a great team of guys that are just hardworking guys. They want to get the job done. It's about the team, and this is the ultimate team sport. And I hope people appreciate, the magnitude of what team sports are all about. It's not about an individual or just the offense or just the defense. And we've talked so much about star players and championship players, and we've worked hard to be a championship type team, and this team now has to go win the final one to win the world championship. We won an AFC championship, but to win this world championship is a whole nother level.
Yeah, you mentioned coming into the season with a full tank. I actually wanted to ask you about that. You took a different approach. You said you needed to do something different this offseason. Did it help? I mean, do we feel like we're in this position right now, perhaps because of the approach you took?
No, I mean, I don't think there's...
It's not the same.
Yeah, I don't see that's the reason. I mean, the reason is because our team earned it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think, I needed to, again, prioritize my family when they have their moments. My kids aren't getting any younger.
Right.
We're not getting these moments back in our life. And, I can't just forget that I have really other important people and responsibilities in my life too. So, I'm happy that the team was able to allow me to do that. I'm happy that, we've been able to have the success that we've had. And, I'm looking forward to going in and trying to play a great game.
One of the things that you said earlier this year was that you want to make sure that you're having fun when you do this. I keep coming back to the fun part. I don't know why. I just feel like you are really having fun. Are you having fun?
I always think, a football season is like running a marathon.
Uh-huh.
I think when you're in the middle of mile 13, you're not going, man, this is the most fun thing I've ever done. But I definitely think there's moments of those where, man, you win the game and you're enjoying that. I think you're out at practice and you're enjoying that. You finish a meeting and you're excited about what happened. It's fun. There's a lot of emotions. There's anger. There's disappointment. There's sadness. But there is the joy emotion. There is the love emotion with your teammates. There's so many things that it takes over the course of many months, 5 months, 6 months. It's not all going to be one thing. It's going to be a lot of things, and it ebbs and flows, and that's part of the football season. It's a long year, and you've got to be able to have enough mental toughness to push through whatever you need to play your best at the biggest moments, and that's what football is all about.
Let's just talk quickly about mortality, age. You have the chance to do something that nobody's ever done at 41 years old. Is there any chance that this is your last game? Zero.
Zero.
Say it. I don't want to just say
There's
it.
zero. Yeah,
Okay.
There's zero. I've said that for a long time. I feel like I'm asked that a lot, and I feel like I repeat the same answer, but no one wants to believe me.
I feel like one of the coaches in the AFC East, trying to tell you, are you sure this is not your not the end?
I know. I just, I've set a goal for myself at 45, and like I said before, it's very hard to make it that far. I know how hard it was this year, and the commitment it takes, and hopefully I've learned from some of the things that happened this year to be better next year. But every year is tough. I mean, this is, there's 25-year-olds that don't make it a season. There's 23-year-olds that don't make it a season. I mean, there's obviously, as a contact sport, you can't control everything. I can control myself. I can control what I do for my body in the off season, how I prepare. I've talked about those things at length.
Right.
I feel like I've kind of laid the blueprint for people, whether people want to believe me or
Absolutely.
not. Hopefully that's really what I want to inspire the next generation to do, is learn from me, learn from the things that I've showed you how to do. And there'll be a lot of people, in my belief, if they follow those things, that are playing well past what people may have thought they would have played, before I was doing it. And I'm not the only player that's ever done it. I mean, there's a lot of other guys that are still,
right.
Adam Vinatieri, he's still playing a different position, but he's still playing. There's other great athletes, that are still performing well. So
whether it's the pliability, the hydration, all those things, what you're doing now is validating what you preach. You're playing at an age that no one else has done.
Yeah.
What would it be that would keep you from playing anymore? What would stop you from playing?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it's just, I'm going to know. I'm going to know when the time's right. And I'm going to feel like, okay, I've kind of had enough. And, I don't quite feel like that yet. I feel like, I've still made a lot of improvements, and I still feel like, I can continue to do it at a championship level. And I enjoy it a lot. I mean, I love playing football. I really do. I go out to practice. I love, preparing for football. Watching film has never been a problem for me. Doing all the workouts, that's never a problem for me. Practicing's never a problem. Those are things I really love. Football was my first love. It really was. And, for me to love it like that has enabled me to work hard at it, and to work hard at it and learn lessons over the course of that time to work more efficiently. And all the work that I've done with, Alex, to really allow my body to function at a very high level at this age, you know, is taught me so much. And, you know, I'm so grateful, you know, for the support that I have. Like I said, it takes a lot of people, you know, and when you get that support, you want to go make people proud. And I think that's, you know, where I was at before, and that's still where I'm at now.
He didn't just change the game. He was the game. The greatest of all time. He changed the NFL forever. But Tom Brady, was he ever satisfied? That answer, we'll never know. Well, it's been a Nazaro documentary. And if you like this video, you will enjoy the next recommended video on your screen, or at least the algorithm thinks you will enjoy it. So click on it and see you in the next one.
Fame and career accomplishments, we were surprised to hear this from him.
Why do I have 3 Super Bowl rings and still think there's something greater out there for me? I mean, maybe a lot of people would say, hey man, this is what it is. I reached my goal, my dream, my life is me. I think, God, it's got to be more than this.
What's the answer?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I love playing football and I love being the quarterback for this team. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of other parts about me that I'm trying to find.